Luxury fashion is often seen as a world of glamour, exclusivity, and high prices. But beneath the polished storefronts and iconic logos lies something much deeper: psychology. Why do people willingly pay thousands of dollars for a handbag, watch, or jacket when cheaper alternatives serve the same practical purpose? The answer isn't just craftsmanship or quality. Luxury consumption is driven by identity, emotion, status, and even brain chemistry. In this presentation, we'll explore the hidden forces that shape luxury demand, XT, from the neuroscience of desire to the social signals embedded in fashion choices. We'll examine how brands create emotional attachment, why scarcity increases value, and how the next generation is changing what luxury means. This is not just about clothing. It's about how people use products to communicate who they are, who they want to become, and where they believe they belong in society. The global luxury market in 2025 is worth an astonishing 1.44 trillion euro, making it one of the most powerful consumer sectors in the world. Personal luxury goods alone account for roughly 358 billion euros, yet the customer base has actually shrunk. In 2022, there were about 400 million luxury consumers globally. By 2025, that number dropped to around 340 million. This creates what analysts call the luxury paradox: fewer buyers, but higher overall spending. The industry's growth has been driven less by selling more units and more by raising prices dramatically. Brands like Hermès and Chanel have mastered this strategy. They increase prices not just to offset costs, but to reinforce exclusivity. Emerging markets such as China, Japan, and India continue to drive growth, proving that luxury remains a global symbol of aspiration, especially in rapidly expanding affluent populations. At the heart of luxury consumption are 5 major psychological drivers. First is status signaling. Luxury products act as social shorthand. A designer bag or high-end watch can instantly communicate wealth, taste, and social standing. Second is self-identity. Many consumers don't just buy luxury to impress others. They buy it because the product aligns with how they see themselves or how they wish to be seen. Third is exclusivity. Scarcity creates desire. When access is limited, products become more desirable because they feel unattainable. Fourth is hedonic pleasure. Luxury often serves as emotional reward. People purchase expensive items as a way to celebrate success, cope with stress, or simply justify indulgence. Finally, there's belonging. Luxury brands create elite social tribes. Owning certain products signals membership in a cultural or economic class, while also distinguishing users from outsiders. Together, these motivations show that luxury is rarely about necessity. It is about emotion, identity, and social meaning. Several classic psychological theories explain why luxury holds such power. The first is the Veblen effect, introduced by economist Thorstein Veblen in 1899. Unlike normal products, some luxury goods become more desirable as prices increase. The high price itself signals prestige. A Hermès Birkin bag is not valuable despite its price. Its value is amplified because of its price. The second theory is social comparison, proposed by Leon Festinger. Humans constantly evaluate themselves against others. Luxury becomes a tool for upward comparison, helping consumers aspire toward a higher social group while also creating distinction from those perceived below them. The third theory is self-congruity. Consumers prefer brands that reflect their personal identity. A luxury brand becomes attractive when its image matches how someone sees themselves or the person they want to become. These theories all point to the same idea. Luxury isn't simply purchased. It is used to construct social identity. Luxury doesn't just affect emotions in slums. It activates specific regions of the brain. When consumers see desirable luxury products, the nucleus accumbens lights up. This is the brain's reward center, the same area associated with food, music, and romantic attraction. The ventral striatum becomes active during anticipation, the moment before a purchase. Interestingly, studies show that the anticipation of owning luxury often creates more pleasure than the actual ownership itself. The medial prefrontal cortex, which processes self-related thinking, activates when people interact with favorite luxury brands. In other words, the brain can literally process a brand as an extension of the self. This is why luxury marketers focus so heavily on experience, boutique interiors, private appointments, exclusive packaging, and ceremonial unboxing. These rituals are designed to stimulate dopamine loops that deepen emotional attachment. Luxury isn't just sold, it is neurologically engineered. Scarcity is one of the most powerful tools in luxury marketing. Around 62% of affluent millennials say scarcity and limited access significantly influence their purchasing decisions. Brands like Hermès use waiting lists as part of the product itself. The delay reinforces the perception that excess must be earned. Chanel uses a different strategy. Aggressive price increases. Since 2019, some signature items have risen more than 50% in price. These tactics are intentional. They communicate that the brand is not for everyone. The barrier is not simply affordability. The barrier is symbolic. It tells the buyer that ownership means belonging to a select group. In luxury, the price tag is not just a cost. It is a message. The luxury world is currently divided between two contrasting trends: quiet luxury and loud luxury. Quiet luxury emphasizes understated elegance, minimal logos, neutral palettes, and insider recognition. It appeals to consumers who want subtle signals that only those in the know can recognize. Brands like Loro Piana exemplify this trend. Loud luxury, on the other hand, uses visible logos and bold design to communicate status openly. It remains popular among younger consumers who use fashion as self-expression and digital identity. The key difference is not style, but social strategy. Quiet luxury signals cultural sophistication and insider status. Loud luxury signals visibility and immediate recognition. Both serve the same purpose, communicating value and identity, just to different audiences. Generation Z and Generation Alpha are redefining luxury. By 2026, these younger groups are expected to drive around 40% of global fashion spending. They also spend a higher percentage of disposable income on fashion compared to older generations. What makes them different is their expectations. They prioritize authenticity, sustainability, and personalization. They are less impressed by heritage alone and more interested in whether a brand aligns with their values. AI also plays a growing role. Around 41% of younger consumers use AI tools weekly for fashion discovery and decision-making. At the same time, circular luxury is becoming mainstream. Resale, refurbishment, and repair are increasingly viewed as status symbols rather than compromises. For younger buyers, luxury is shifting from ownership to experience and identity alignment. Luxury has a darker psychological side. Compulsive buying disorder affects roughly 5.8% of adults, and luxury goods can intensify this tendency because they activate reward pathways associated with addiction. The brain develops tolerance. Over time, consumers may need increasingly expensive purchases to achieve the same emotional high. Buy now, pay later services have accelerated this issue. Monthly BNPL spending rose significantly between 2024 and 2025, making luxury more accessible, but often at the cost of financial stress. Counterfeit luxury introduces another layer. Many consumers justify fake purchases through moral licensing, convincing themselves that beauty and status should be available to everyone. Yet the strongest deterrent to counterfeits is not legality or ethics. It is social embarrassment, to the fear of being exposed. This reveals a core truth. Much of luxury's value depends not on the object itself, but on what others believe about it. The future of luxury is moving beyond display and toward transformation. Consumers increasingly value emotional connection over volume. Brands are focusing on deep relationships with fewer clients rather than mass expansion. AI-driven personalization will become central. Algorithms can tailor storytelling, recommendations, and product experiences to individual identity, making brands feel more personal than ever. The transformation economy is also rising. High net worth consumers are shifting spending toward wellness, longevity, private travel, and experiences that signal self-reinvention. Circular luxury will continue to grow. Owning vintage or pre-owned items may become a new marker of connoisseurship, proof of taste rather than simple wealth. Ultimately, luxury is evolving from a symbol of ownership to a symbol of transformation. The future consumer may not buy luxury just to show success. They may buy it to shape who they are becoming.